What did they have in common? Epilepsy is the worst, most common serious brain disease. Anyone at any time or age can be diagnosed with epilepsy. However, it strikes most often in those under 5 and those over 55.
Some people have epilepsy and other conditions as well, so they may have cerebral palsy with epilepsy or autism with epilepsy. That's very common. But generally epilepsy affects 2% of the population, which is quite a large number.
There are more people with epilepsy than with cerebral palsy, Parkinson's disease and multiple sclerosis combined. Epilepsy produces recurrent and provoked seizures. Seizures happen when nerve cells in the brain signal abnormally, which may briefly affect a person's consciousness, movement, or behavior. It is not a psychological disorder and is not contagious.
There's 40 different seizure types that people can have. Some people can experience focal seizures where they have full awareness, so they might experience a funny taste in their mouth, a tingling sensation, and they can feel that and describe that. But other people lose consciousness, not completely, but have what we call a dyscognitive state. And in that instance, they are confused, disoriented, and not know where they are, won't remember the seizure. Another example of that is what we call a tonic-clonic seizure, which just means stiff and jerking. So the person will lose consciousness, go stiff and start jerking all over. No one's epilepsy is going to look the same, and we have to manage their epilepsy quite differently. If someone's having a seizure, the most important thing is to time how long the seizure goes for. If a seizure goes for 20 to 30 seconds, then it's absolutely fine. You don't have to do anything. Just keep the person safe, stay with them. But if someone has a tonic-clonic seizure in your presence, the best thing to do is to make sure that they're safe, remove any objects that might be hurting them, put something soft under their head and turn the person onto their side. You won't get them in proper recovery position, but by keeping them on the side, you'll make sure that their airway is clear and that they'll be able to breathe during the seizure. Don't put anything in their mouth and don't restrain them, but just let the seizure take its course. But if the seizure is anything longer than 5 minutes, and that doesn't matter if it's a tonic-clonic seizure or if it's a focal seizure, anything greater than 5 minutes really does need medical assistance, so you would call an ambulance.
Stigma, discrimination, and misconceptions associated with epilepsy are sometimes worse than the condition itself.
Well, Purple Day started in 2008 in Canada by a young girl called Cassidy Megan. She was 9 at the time. She was really struggling with her epilepsy. She felt alone and she felt very misunderstood, and she wanted to bring awareness to her friends and her family and her town. And that's really expanded very rapidly, and it's now an International Awareness Day. So Epilepsy Queensland actually picked Purple Day up in 2009, and we've been celebrating Purple Day in Queensland for 6 years now. It's a whole month of epilepsy awareness where people raise money, they wear purple, they have parties, they do all sorts of different activities to try and increase awareness in the community. But our main event on the 26th of March, which is always the same day that we celebrate Purple Day, we have a procession in South Bank in Brisbane. We dress up, we have fun, and we try and increase awareness. We try to get people to say, why are you all wearing purple? and then we end with a bit of a purple party at the end. So it's really just to let people know that epilepsy is out there, how common it is, and to make people feel supported if they do have epilepsy, that they have an epilepsy family, that other people are experiencing the same problems that they might be going through. Our patron Wally Lewis has done amazing work to increase the profile of epilepsy and increase the awareness of epilepsy. Epilepsy Queensland's been really fortunate to get some support from Channel 9. We've also been really lucky to get some support through the Courier Mail, and they've been running some ads for us in their newspapers for free. We really appreciate that support and are really grateful for everything that they've done for us. There's a lot of research being done into the genetics of epilepsy, and that helps to tailor the right medication for the right person. Most people with epilepsy will get good seizure control, up to 70% of people on medications. But for 30% of people with epilepsy who we can't get things under control, there are some new treatment options that are available. Surgery is probably the most effective, and for a lot of people with epilepsy it can be a cure. So if you have refractory epilepsy that's not responding to medication, you could be a candidate for surgery. But not everybody with epilepsy is a candidate for surgery, unfortunately. The other treatment options that are available though would include things like there's some dietary therapies, including the ketogenic diet and the modified Atkins diet. There's a device called the vagal nerve stimulator, which can reduce the number of seizures and reduce the severity of the seizures that the person's having. But really there are some people who just remain, unfortunately, unable to be treated and unable to get their seizures fully under control. But that's definitely our goal. You know, seizure freedom is what everybody's working towards, and hopefully in the future, with more funding, we'll be able to go that direction.
With your cooperation, let's bring epilepsy out of the shadows.